pledge to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everybody received the minutes from the last meeting? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Okay. Any items from board members? Okay, any items from staff? Okay, tonight we have one public hearing, V2132. It's 440 Kirkstall Trail Pool Variance. It's consideration of a variance request to reduce the rear setback for a swimming pool from 20 feet to 10 feet on a single-family detached lot. The property is located at 440 Kirkstall Trail and is legally described as being located in Land Lot 39, 1st District, 1st Section, Fulton County, Georgia. Mr. Whitman?
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. As the Chair mentioned, the item before you is a pool setback variance to reduce the rear setback for a pool from 20 to 10 feet. Have the location map up on the overhead. This is 440 Kirkstall Trail in the Tuxford subdivision. It's about 0.3 acre lot, zone R12. It's developed with a two-story, 3,000 square foot home, single family detached home. The site plan that the applicant submitted shows a 621 square foot swimming pool. There are other swimming pools. Actually, let's put this back up here. I think you can see some of them. There are other swimming pools within the subdivision, some of the homes. There's a lot of trees here, so you can't see all of them on the aerial. There's one on the same street. There's a few more kind of scattered in here that I've viewed on a separate map. So the swimming pool that's being proposed on this lot is comparable in size to others in the same neighborhood. As on the site plan, they are showing a 10-foot rear setback for the pool on the rear property line. You see the property is the beginning of a cul-de-sac, so it does have an unusual shape. That front setback pushes that home a little bit further back and places it on an angle, so it kind of limits that rear yard area there. The applicant on the site plan shows that there is a 26-inch water oak. That water oak sits right about here. And you'll notice when we get to the conditions, there's a condition regarding the impact to that particular water oak. So there is a small amount of impact to that particular tree. There's an existing 6-foot wood privacy fence along the rear of the property. And going back to the aerial, this property does back up to the HOA's pool and tennis facility. This is common area. The applicant provided with the application letters of no objections from the properties on either side of this property. The HOA Tuxford subdivision did not provide a letter of support. They did respond and indicated that they wanted to wait to weigh in until the city approved the variance request. And the applicant may have some additional information about that. Sometimes you will see an HOA making a decision before they come before you with the variance. Not all the time do we get a decision from the HOA. On the aerial, you can see there is a wooded area between the properties. So this is the rear of the property where the pool would be proposed. There's a wooded area back here, and it's about 20 to 30 feet that would separate the property, this residential property, from the common facilities on this piece of common property for the HOA. And staff is supporting the applicant's request for a variance, we believe, due to the unusual shape of the property being located on the cul-de-sac. cause the home to be placed at an angle on the lot. We do feel like there are protections at the rear yard, being screened by the existing 6-foot privacy fence. And then we are recommending some conditions if approved. Those being, 1, the swimming pool shall be located as depicted on the plans prepared by Georgia Classic Pools, revised 2/7/2022, with a 10-foot rear setback. Condition 2, 26-inch water oak identified in the submitted arborist report shall be saved with no more than a 20% encroachment permitted into the critical root zone. And then 3, replant a minimum of 5 4-inch arborvitaes or similar evergreen trees across the rear of the property as a replacement for the trees being removed in the pool installation. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Any questions?
Okay, so in this particular case, I mean, being new to the board, I'm just going to ask. So we've asked the neighbors to the right and the left. The third neighbor is really the HOA.
Correct.
Who represents the rest of the neighborhood. So in past, do we check with the entire neighborhood or the people that are, and this is a shared common area, so would it be best to check with all of the neighbors?
Well, we do ask that the property owner on cases of variances that come before the Board of Zoning Appeals, we do ask the applicant to notify all touching properties, and so they have done that. It wasn't the HOA made the decision not to make a final decision until this board made a final decision on it. Most of the times they will make a decision prior to the applicant coming before you, but not all the time. So the applicant has done what they are required to do in notification. However, just for example, if this was approved, the HOA still would have to approve this for the applicant to build the pool as shown on the site plan. They could approve it for the applicant. If it's approved, the variance is approved this evening, they could approve it for the applicant. They could place additional conditions on the approval, or they could deny it, and that would rule in this particular case. So that HOA, by making that decision for this applicant, would be making that decision on behalf of the full neighborhood, Tuxford neighborhood. But I understand what you're saying. But the applicant's done what they were required to do, which is notify.
So do you think they will reach out to all the neighbors in the community that use this common area?
I don't know if they will contact all of Tuxford property owners to let them know that they would be approving that or not. I'm not sure what the HOA would do in that particular case.
Should that impact our decision, or we just let them decide?
I don't think that it really should impact the decision of this board. I think
Okay.
you're looking at, I think the applicant has done exactly what the city has asked them to do as part of this application. I think that there's really not a harm to the decision of this board. It ultimately will fall to the HOA. Like I said, the HOA could decide to approve. They could, even if it's approved tonight, they could decide to deny the applicant's request. But the applicant may have some additional information. I know the homeowner, the pool contractor is the applicant. I don't believe the homeowner is actually here, but the contractor may have some information that she's heard from the property owner.
Can I ask some questions?
Please.
Okay. So this is just general information that I'd like, because this is my second meeting and our second pool variance request. So my fear is that we're going to start setting some precedents, like, hey, you want to put in a pool in the city of Alpharetta, just come to zoning appeals and you get your permit. So one, does staff work with people when they come in to file to say, hey, have you looked at a way to figure out how to get your pool in this yard within the boundaries? Like, what about a smaller pool?
Yeah, certainly we do. And this applicant, definitely, we talked to them about an initial plan that came in to our office, and they actually made revisions to this plan. They also made revisions to this plan to bring the pool further out, to have less impact on some of the trees that would be saved on this property, to have less impact to the trees. What I do acknowledge that last month we had a pool variance. We've had some other pool variances related to encroachment on stream buffers. I think the reason why we're seeing a lot more pool variances is because of related to COVID. A lot of people are investing in their homes. They're staying home more. We're seeing an uptick on additions to homes, decks, covered porches, swimming pools. We have received more swimming pool permit requests than we have in quite a long time. And so that's why I think that we have seen a lot more of these. I think the ones that you have seen recently, I believe the one last month was also, I think the last, other than the one that was on the stream buffer encroachment, the last two requests before this one with setback variances were properties also located on a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
So they had unusual shape to the lot, which is one of the review criteria that we look at. So I don't believe that I'm comfortable that we're not setting a particular precedent, but I agree with you. We are seeing more of these.
Well, and do we know, like, how long the homeowners lived in this particular home?
I'm not sure how long they've been in this particular home. Maybe the applicant may have a little bit more information. I can try to look that up while the applicant's up.
Any other questions from board?
Just a note, I mean, I hope that the HOA reaches out to the neighbors, because I'm concerned that if I have children in a pool that's this close to the tennis courts, I've played tennis in the past, and I know it can get a little, they can say things that maybe aren't so appropriate for children. So I'm just concerned about protecting the community as a whole. So I hope that they do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woodman. Would the applicant like to come forward? Excuse me. Good evening.
Hello. Hey.
Hi.
Sorry. Hey, y'all. I don't know. I'm Ashley, and I am with Georgia Classic Pool. The applicant was supposed to be here, and I don't know what happened to him. So I know that the wife is out of town, so he was supposed to be here, and I don't know if he got lost or in traffic or something. So, but yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, summarize, we are requesting for that 10-foot variance off the rear to build a swimming pool. We did go to him with a larger pool. The applicants initially had a bigger pool. It impacted more trees, and it got really close to the back property line. We worked with the staff to get at least to that 10-foot, and that's what we have here now proposed. And the shape and the topography of the lot did present some issues, mainly because that house is situated on that corner, or the cul-de-sac lot, and then kind of catty-cornered on the lot itself. And then there is part of the conditions was that one water oak tree, so we kind of are, if we go any closer towards the side of the property, we'll kind of be encroaching into that tree as well. So as far as the HOA, I do know that the homeowner reached out to their HOA, got a verbal conversation and discussed it, and they wanted to see how everything transpired here before making a decision. But like you said, they do have like that final ultimate say and have any conditions and we don't do anything until we're given that clear. So I'm happy to answer any questions for y'all.
Please.
So my first question is the reason why the pool's not being built more to the south end of the lot, is that due to topography or cost, or?
You mean towards the tree?
No, away from the tree. So the tree's at the north, I believe, of the lot. And I see a bunch of area to the south. Like the pool wouldn't be exactly behind the home? And I'm not trying to rebuild your design. I'm just trying to understand, have you thought about moving the pool south on the lot a little bit? That would take away, I think, from your...
Initially, when the pool was bigger, it did end up going a little bit more south because it was more south and towards that back property line. So when we were trying to condense it in, it brought it in, but we were also trying to stay behind the lines of the home. Was our intent there. I know it's kind of more like this like aesthetic a look of it being centered in the back of your home, I guess. But and then as far as coming down south, trying to squeeze it in there, you're encroaching pretty close to the back of the house and then the deck there. So trying to also give them enough space between the pool and the back of the house.
I'm sorry, 2 questions. So you have not begun to build your pool at this point?
No.
Okay. Do you understand what a tree save is?
Yes.
You've worked around tree saves before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And, gosh, there was another one. I'll have to come back to you. I'll have to come back to you.
We do a lot of work in the city of Alpharetta. We've got a ton of permits pulled, and we know how important it is to protect the trees. We work really closely with the inspectors. We have several right now that we're working with. Tree Save, going through the whole Alpharetta process. We're a very well-known big pool builder in this area, and we want to remain have a good relationship with the city as well and everybody. So we definitely follow rules when it comes to the tree save and silt fence and everything. So.
Any other questions?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve V 21-32, subject to the 3 conditions set forth by staff, that the pool shall be permitted as depicted on the plans prepared by Georgia Classic Pools revised 2722 with a 10-foot rear setback. The 26-inch water oak identified in the submitted arborist report shall be saved with no more than 20% encroachment permitted into the critical root zone, and replant a minimum of 5 4-inch arborvitaes or similar evergreen trees across the rear of the property as a replacement for the trees being removed in the pool installation.
Thank you. Second? Second. Okay. Oh, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, there is a board meeting next month. It'll be March 17th. And motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Thanks. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.